is on the block with Strickland. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to hear as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Once again, it's on. Yes, it's on, and you're on the block here with Rico and your boy Stricky. Thank you for joining us 2 to 4 each and every day right here. We're in the middle of the week, hump week, Rico, and I see you representing the New York Knicks today. How are you doing today? I just crossed over with you, so yes, I know you're doing okay.
I'm doing fantastic, and my Knicks are doing fantastic. They got another win last night over the Portland Trail Blazers this time. 5 Knicks players in double figures.
Yeah.
Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, I think they both dropped 30 points, so we're feeling good. Emmanuel Quickly still doing his thing, going for 6th man of the year, even though he's been starting the last couple of games because Jalen Brunson's injury. But once Brunson comes back, the Knicks are even more
They're
dangerous.
primed to make a run. Yeah,
it's going to be so. They are a second-round team at worst.
Yeah.
And I am excited about that.
Well, yeah, they haven't gotten out of the first round in quite some time now, so that would be a good thing for them. Listen, we're here. Only the reason that we're here, not only, but one of the reasons.
One of the big reasons.
Is because of our great sponsors down there at Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. And you know who it is, Charles and the crew down there. And they're open today, so you can get out there and get you a great meal from Mary Ellen's. Let them know that Stricky and Rico sent you from On the Block, and we appreciate you guys and your continued support. Listen, let's get into this because this is some crazy news. This is one of the things, and I want to continue to dig deep on this. But Aaron Rodgers has finally come out and stopped playing coy.
Finally,
he stopped sitting in the corner on timeout,
holding his football, my football. Oh, I don't want to play with anybody.
And finally says, he addresses on the Pat McAfee show where he states that my intention is to play. So that in itself is huge. Mm-hmm. He's going to play because you got to think about it, right? Think about the hold that not only the New York Jets, but the Green Bay Packers, because now guys are starting to, the 52 hour, the legal tampering is going down, and guys are starting to make decisions. And you're holding because you're trying to figure out if this is going to be a part of the equation, which messes up you going out and getting somebody. It also works with other quarterbacks that are out there. Now guys start to fall off the map a little bit, like Jimmy starts going. Then you got to start saying, well, dang, do I have to rely on like Baker Mayfield? Or
Baker Mayfield's going to Tampa.
Well, see, so he's going to replace.
Andy Dalton's going to Carolina.
They're falling.
Matt Ryan just got released by the Colts, but do you really want to put your franchise into Matt Ryan's hands? Let me think. Whatever White.
The one that was in
New York. Yeah. He's going to Miami. These quarterbacks are so Jimmy Garoppolo's to Vegas. Like these quarterbacks are going left. Yes. Derek Carr's still out there, surprisingly.
Yeah.
The Saints re-signed. They didn't. So the Saints haven't signed Carr yet. They haven't even. They said that they were still working on it.
Okay.
They just signed Jameis Winston to a 1-year, $8 million deal though.
Ooh.
So I don't know what that means for Derek Carr.
There you go. Show and prove. It could be a fight. Or it could be a sign with a lesser bonus and maybe a prove it contract type of thing. But that's the thing that's going on. But when you look at Aaron Rodgers, he says, I want to play. And not only did he do that, but he came up with a wish list, like a free agency wish list. Like, this is who I want. And guess who's at the top of that list? ODB. And I'm not talking about, Wu-Tang Clan.
I put it at the top of my wish list.
OBJ. Mm-hmm. See, I said ODB, but it's OBJ.
See, that's the confusing part. It's Odell Beckham Jr., but also like Odell, and then ODB. Like that makes sense.
It makes sense.
So
it does make sense.
For the longest time, I was like, I don't know which one he wants to be referred as. I think it's OBJ
though. So that's on the wish list. But Odell is asking for and commanding for a huge payout.
Too much.
It's way too much. Coming off an injury, you're old, you're an elderly statesman now. You're probably not a number one, but in your mind, it's like me going out and playing basketball right now. Mm-hmm. It's like I feel like I can go, but my body keeps saying no, no, no. So Odell coming off an injury, being more older,
play for a full year.
Didn't play for a full year. Who's going to really drop the heavy load on you like
I'm
that?
sorry,
That's the thing
OBJ,
you got to think about.
You're not top contract worthy. You're not $20 million. Unfortunately, honestly, if you are truly back to yourself, then yeah, $20 million. But we don't know that yet.
Yeah.
So if you want to take the chance and sign it for $20 million, you might be throwing $20 million away. But if you got, a disposable income like a lot of these NFL teams do have, maybe you'll take that chance. Maybe the Jets will end up taking that chance. But that's too much money for a guy that hasn't played in a year.
Yeah, other teammates that he feels comfortable with, some that are dropping on the list. The real elderly statesman who still works well out of the slot, can still do some things, is Randall Cobb. He's one of the ones. Mercedes Lewis and Alex Lazar. Alex Lazar can blow the top off. He's one of those type of guys.
They've
agreed to a 4-year, 44.
Overpaid for Allen.
Yeah. So that's kind of what you're looking at with that. The Jets still have some weapons. They have some pieces. They've got a tremendous defense. Do you think, Rico, that the adding of Aaron Rodgers changes the needle for the New York Jets?
I mean, yeah, he's not back to back, but he's an MVP, 2-time MVP. He's a 1-time Super Bowl champion. He's one of the greatest talents that the league has seen in quite some time. Despite all of his off-field antics, on the field, he can still get it done. He can still sling the rock, especially if you surround him with talent, because you've seen what he can do with lesser talent and only one Devontae Adams, and then a bunch of other wide receivers surrounding him, and then one running back with Aaron Jones. And now you put him in New York, where he has some pretty good weapons surrounding him. You give him a Breece Hall, who's is younger than Aaron Jones, still fresh legs at the running back position. They've got some really good wide receivers. They signed Allen Lazard, who's one of his favorite targets in Green Bay after Devontae Adams left. I think it does move the needle. I'm not sure about their defense. It was pretty solid last year. I don't know if it's still in that range. I do really like Robert Saleh, their head coach, but Aaron Rodgers definitely moves the needle for the Jets. However, you're in the AFC East. Yeah. You've got, although it pains me to say, Miami's extremely talented. Yeah. The Bills still have Josh Allen, they're extremely talented. And New England, even though last year was a dud of a season, they've got Bill O'Brien to command their offense. Mac Jones came off a bad performance, but he was a Pro Bowler in his rookie season. Yeah. They just signed Juju Smith-Schuster, and Bill Belichick knows how to call a heck of a defensive game. So you're in one of the tougher divisions in football. So we'll see exactly what happens. I mean, you're coming from one of the easier divisions when you go with the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions. They had a better season, the NFC North did, but it's still not the greatest.
Yeah, you still can't rely on. Some people on the text line would say you can rely on Cousins, but his numbers were solid. But when it comes to the big game, he falters a little bit.
The Bears were bad. The Lions were the surprise of the season, but still, it's the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. So one of the things he said is in the decision that was absolutely dominating the landscape of the news. Everybody was wondering. People were on pins and needles waiting on this message to come forth. And he says that this is quote from Aaron Rodgers. He says that the darkness gave me a lot of time to contemplate everything. It was a great reset for me, for my body, for my mind. I went into the darkness 90% retiring, 10% playing. And when I came out, I was really interested in what the landscape was, where Green Bay was at, and if I wanted to play and what were my options. And so, I will say this. That time of solitude, of just kind of getting away from everything, decompressing. I've been in those times and moments, and there's nothing like it. It does bring a lot of clarity, and it seems to me that Aaron Rodgers has come to that point now. I think there's probably some frustration coming out of his himself with regards to what people have been reporting and what people have been saying and so forth and so on. Feel as if they're speaking on his behalf when there was really nothing out there other than some probably close relationships that he probably shared some information with. So other than that, it's still nothing's done or solid. He's
Nope.
expressed where he wants to be, and it's going to be now. The last thing before we get to our favorite guy, Free Oleg. One of the things I would ask is, does the Green Bay Packers go and try to pillage in this situation? Is there a pillaging moment? Is there something that they can really glean
No.
from this situation, or it's just kind of
like in terms of getting things from New York? No. That's the only team that's so far that we know of. That's the only team that wants to trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So honestly, the Jets can sit there, offer whatever they want to offer, and say, okay, you either accept this, or
he may retire.
You're stuck with Rodgers, or
And he may
or
retire
you
on
lose
you.
him for nothing.
Yeah.
You either take this, or you get nothing, and you don't have Aaron Rodgers, or you keep Aaron Rodgers, and he's very not happy about where he's at with the current situation in Green Bay. So the Jets are holding all the cards in my mind.
Mhm.
And if what Adam Schefter was reporting is true, and Rodgers was the only thing holding this up, now that he's expressed that he wants to play and he's willing to go to New York, I wouldn't be surprised if a deal gets done before the end of today.
Well, Nyla states that the Jets are better off on the text line, Sutter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. We always love your comments and your suggestions and thoughts. The Jets are better off just going after Lamar Jackson and leaving Aaron in the dust. It is not worth it, but they are too far gone into this stupid thing.
If they want Lamar, they're going to have to offer a ton of money because, again, what the Ravens did is they I think it was tendered him or something, and so whoever offers him a contract, the Ravens,
it was a non-exclusive tag.
Yeah, the Ravens can match it.
Yeah,
they can choose to match it or not. So in order to take him away from the Ravens, you are going to have to put a stupid number out there. Yeah. And if you put a dumb number out there that's way too high and the Ravens believe you're overpaying, they're not going to match it. You're going to get Lamar Jackson, but you're not getting anybody else this offseason.
Yeah. That's one of the things. So, obviously one of your favorite guys is Oleg Kolinex before we go to break.
My boy.
We're going to have Evan Bland coming up after this. We're also going to have Steve Sipple coming on the second hour to join us. He was supposed to come yesterday, but he had a funeral engagement that he had to deal with. So we'll have those two joining us. And then we'll also talk about the NCAA tournament, and we'll kind of break down some teams specifically, both in the West and the South.
Yes.
So we'll start there, and then we'll do the East and West on tomorrow as things get rolling. But that's how we're going to do it here on the block. But first, tell us about Oleg. Do you think Oleg has a chance to go big time, or do you think maybe a good mid-major will land him?
Oleg was a top 250 recruit coming out of high school, I believe, if I remember correctly. He was a 3-star. And
very raw.
Very raw, but if you watch some of his high school, say when he played for Lithuania in the under-16 tournament, he was giving people buckets. He was doing pretty well. I mean, he was coming off of screens, getting underneath. He was pretty wide open, but he was also able to finish with a couple fancy post moves. He had some decent footwork. Again, it was under 16. So, I mean, it was people his age, but you never really got to see that here. He never really got to get on the court, and when he did, he was mostly setting screens, cutting the basket, not getting the ball. The only time he would get it was off of a rebound, if he happened to get that. So I don't know if somebody's willing to take a chance on him. I don't see another power conference team taking a chance on him. Maybe a mid-major. He might have to go a little bit lower than that. But I think that Oleg can go somewhere and have some success. I don't know how much success, but I think he can go somewhere and do something. I mean, he's a 7-footer.
He still has a couple years.
Those don't grow on trees. So
yeah.
He's a redshirt sophomore. I believe he has 3 or 4 years. I don't know if he gets the COVID year. I don't think he was here for that. So I think he has 3 years left to play collegiate basketball. We'll see where he ends up. But it really kind of puts not a damper, but puts Nebraska's big man situation in a weird place, because you're losing Derek Walker, who was the heart and soul of your team, really, him and Sam Griesel. Yeah. You're losing him, the undersized big man, and now you're losing Oleg. That leaves you with Blaise Keita and Wilhelm Breidenbach. Blaise Keita, as we saw this year, struggled with injuries, however serious or whatever they may have been. He struggled with injuries, struggled to stay on the court, and Wilhelm Breidenbach was just so inconsistent from game to game. We know he has talent because we've seen it, but the inconsistency is what doomed Nebraska with him. You have two big men. Nothing
uncertain about.
Yeah, you're uncertain about both of them.
Yeah.
So you don't have much depth, and Oleg would have just provided you another big body that you could put in there in case one of them gets in foul trouble, if somebody's hurt, just somebody who can grab boards. Maybe you're not looking to, use him offensively. But again, it's a big body. He can get boards. He can kick it out. He can do whatever. Now you have those two. So Nebraska is not only going to have to go into the transfer portal to look for a for sure dynamite scorer, which is kind of what everybody's kind of agreed to. That's what Nebraska needs.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to have to go into the portal and find a big man. But what kind of big man is Nebraska looking for? Yeah. Are you going to attempt to go the same Derek Walker route, maybe an undersized guy who you might be able to run your offense through from time to time? Because I think you have, some really good point guards that you can run your offense through. But if you have somebody that you can kind of dish it off to and they can do things, is that where you're going to go? Or are you going to go for the two other things? A guy who is just massive, boards, dunks, blocks. That's the guy that you want? Or is it going to be a guy who's a little more technical on the inside? Somebody that you can get the ball down to and just say, go to work, big fella.
So for me, right? I talked about this on Hooked on Huskers, and we're going to take a break after this, but I talked about this on Hooked on Huskers, and we've kind of mentioned this off scene. I'm looking for an addition where he's a gazelle, he's a Mikey Moore type, where he runs, he blocks, he bangs on you, and he can hit a nice little mid-range if you need him to hit it.
A little like 12-footer?
Yes, but he's not a guy that you have to run stuff through for him to still be effective in the game. That's how Mikey Moore was to me. He's that type of guy. Who jumps in the portal that's like that? That's why I'm keeping my eye on it to see. You've got a potential, but he just needs a good offseason in Wilhelm Breidenbach. You've also got a potential in Blaise Keita. See, what you don't know about Blaise is Blaise capable of hitting 15. He's got good touch. He's just, his footwork needs to get a little bit of work. But I said this before, and I'll say it once again. If I'm the Nebraska Cornhusker coaching staff, I'm putting Drew Timmy tape. I've got a whole treasure trove of all his games from his junior year to his senior year. And every game, I need you to be watching this. So you need to come back looking like him okay. if you go home.
So I got. I was going to say something. Something about a big man. I don't remember, but I got a little bit of breaking news for you. You ready for this?
Ready.
It's NFL news.
Okay.
Somebody got cut.
Ooh.
A running back got cut.
Oh, no.
A running back down south got cut.
Oh. Houston?
Nope.
It's got to be Dallas.
Yep.
It's got to be my boy.
Yep.
Zeke.
Yep.
Freaky Zeke.
He gone.
They got rid of him.
Cowboys cut Ezekiel Elliott.
I can't believe they did it. Okay. Talk to me.
The seven
franchise tag
3-time Pro Bowler out of Dallas. They franchised Tony Pollard.
Yep.
They cut Zeke.
Well, we'll see how
we can talk about this later because we got to get to a break and get to Evan Bland, but that is interesting to say the least.
Coming back after the break, we'll have Evan Bland here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are on the block. Me and Rico, we'll be right back after this.
Integrated Life Choice has been inspiring individuals within 15 years in Lincoln, offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. More about services for your loved ones. Appointment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Are you for a solid assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great content, today by online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership, sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. We encourage those who go out to make smart decisions behind the wheel or plan accordingly to have someone ride with. This message comes to you from Paul Mike and the Herrick Service, your vending specialist here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services on the air because they...
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half the block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-665-4650 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Craft Extra is celebrating 5 years in Lincoln, and you won't want to miss out on the fun. Right now through Thursday, March 16th, get $5 off multi-blade rentals like Ninja Stars and throwing cards, a free drink up to $5 value, plus a koozie with any booking, and a chance to win $5,000 just for stopping by. Plus, they're donating $500 to 24 different charities and offering discounts on merchandise and more. It's the 5-year anniversary for Craft Extra, 18th and N.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting new pre-workout for athletes and gym enthusiasts who want the most out of their workouts. It can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
For your south winds could gust over 35, but an afternoon high of 68. Increasing clouds tonight with a low of 38. We'll reach a high of 43 tomorrow, but then see falling temps in the afternoon with a rain snow mix possible and north winds gusting near 50. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Well, back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block. Joining us on the Honda Lincoln hotline right now is the man, the myth, the legend out of the Omaha World Herald, Evan Bland. On the block right now. What's going on, Evan?
Strick, doing well. I was curious how you survived the state tournament last week. I was there for a couple of days too.
Yeah, man. Listen, it was fun. I will say that I truly enjoyed watching those young men and women really lay it all on the line. And then it was good to finish it off and watch Bellevue West, seal the day for the retirement of Doug Woodard. So I will say that I was quite. I had a good feeling.
Yeah, I wish we had a little bit more drama in the finals, but man, Bellevue West. I mean, they didn't have a peer this year. I mean, they were head and shoulders above everybody. It seemed like.
You're absolutely right, man. We obviously the NCAA tournament is jumping off, but I want to touch a little bit about your thoughts about coming up short, the Huskers falling and faltering to the Mavericks. They don't like to say the University of Omaha; they like to say Omaha, and so 10-6, and it just again they're hitting the ball, they're putting the ball in play. But it's the little things that obviously is causing them to have problems. 3 errors in that game. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, yeah. First of all, you're right. If you say UNO, a Mavericks fan will tell you that's a card game, not the name of their school. So, yeah, that's a good place to start. But yeah, I mean, it was a rough one for Nebraska, 10-6, like you mentioned, 3 errors, which were a season high. Midweeks are a little bit odd. Like, you're not throwing your best pitchers typically. You tend to try to piece things together through the bullpen. And so, like, you can look around the country and see top name brand programs lose to directional schools often. I mean, it does happen. That's just, it's baseball, that's college baseball, all that stuff. Now, you can't make a habit of it. And I think midweeks, more than anything, in my opinion, show the depth that a baseball team has. So when Nebraska is going to the NCAA tournament, it's typically been, like 6-3, 7-3-ish in the midweek. And I think it's 3-1 right now. It just dropped its first one to Omaha. So, I understand sort of the optics of it when you look and see that Omaha beats Nebraska. It can trigger a lot of people. I think fans tend to overreact to that particular outcome. And, for one night it was rough. I mean, Nebraska had its chances. It struck out in key spots. It walked and hit a number of batters that went against it. And Omaha's best player, a guy by the name of Mike Bovee, who's going to be a high draft pick here in a few months, didn't play. He was out too. So yeah, it doesn't look great. But, again, Nebraska had won 9 of 10 coming in. They've been a top 10 defense, top 25 offense. You've got 40 plus games left to go in this season. So, I would say all is not lost. There are many, many, many games with which to redeem yourself coming up. But for one night, it did sort of flash back to the struggles that they had on opening weekend.
Right. And so when you think about everything, you feel that right now where they land, they're at a good spot. This is a good spot to be for the most part at this part of the season.
Yeah. I mean, again,
they've ran through a gauntlet. They ran through a gauntlet.
San Diego's not where you want to be to start, but since then they've been really good. And I think you look under the hood at some of the numbers, not just the wins, but like they're hitting well with runners in scoring position. They're keeping opponents from being in those situations. The defense has been good. The starting pitching actually has been pretty solid. So like all the under the hood stuff would indicate that they've done well. They beat Vanderbilt, which remains a top 10 team. And that's going to be something that's going to pay off for them. The thing about Nebraska and really any team in the Big Ten for the most part is once you get to this point in the year and they start Big Ten play next week, you just don't have a lot of chances to improve your RPI or your strength of schedule. Like if you're in the SEC and you're 500 right now, you're going to have, 6 or 7 ranked opponents and probably 20 ranked games ahead to redeem yourself. Nebraska doesn't have that right now. Maybe Maryland will be ranked when they play them. Maybe Iowa will be ranked, but that's really about it. And so what it leaves you at this point of the year for Nebraska is you just got to win the games. Like there's no more, hey, we tried hard against a good team or whatever. Like you just got to take care of business. And recent history would say that should be good enough to get Nebraska in, but you got to win the weekends. That's the key. And you can't drop too many of these midweeks. So they're in a good spot now. I think if you would tell them that they were 9-5 with a top 10 win and a midweek loss, they would take that. But now it's all about continuing to win those weekends moving forward as you go into league play.
We're speaking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. And Evan, that middle of the infield with Bryce Matthews and Max Anderson has had a great start to the season. Is this something that we, after two amazing summers for Max Anderson, is this something we expected from him? And then can you speak on Bryce Matthews' start to the season?
Yeah, I think Anderson's been on top prospect lists for a couple of years now. This is his first draft eligible year, so you can bet that major league teams are going to be looking at him, and he'll probably be called early this summer. But yeah, I mean, he's hitting, I think, 420 something right now, and with power. And his move from third base to second, I think, maybe caused some people to double take a little bit, because he doesn't necessarily maybe have the physique of a second baseman or one that you would think of that like Nebraska's had in the past. But he's actually been one of their most reliable infielders. I don't think he has an error yet this year. So he's been, a key cog in what Nebraska wants to do. And then Matthews, there was talk in the offseason that he might get moved off shortstop and maybe he would settle in the outfield or somewhere else. But, he's really doubled down on his defense. He does have a couple errors still, but just the range of ability that he gives you. I mean, he can steal some bases, he can hit for power, take a walk. Like, there's so many things that he can do with the bat. And then defensively too, being their best, essentially their best infielder at this point, it has been really solid. And so both of those guys are juniors. I think those are the guys that come to mind when you think about that 2021 team that challenged Arkansas in that regional. Those were the freshmen that really stepped up and helped propel that team. And now they're in leadership spots. And so, you start looking at how this team could maybe make a run and what that could look like. I think it starts with some guys who've been through the battles now for a number of years. And I think it starts with those guys. And again, they're both hitting over 400, both power threats and all the rest. So it's a good core start for what Nebraska wants to do moving forward.
One last question here. Let's turn it over to the NCAAs because it's going to be jumping off tomorrow. Once again, we'll be down at Buffalo Wings and Rings for all of the tournament action for the shows. But listen, two questions. One, who do you think out of the Big Ten has the best potential to go long in the tournament, if any? And how do you think Creighton will fare? Because they've got a pretty tough show at it. I mean, first you got to get through NC State, then possibly either UCSB and Baylor to even get a look. So just give me your two takes on that.
Yeah, I mean, the Big Ten is interesting to me. You get 8 teams in, the same number as the SEC. And we'll just see, like the wrap on the Big Ten, and I think it's probably justified based on what we've seen, is that it's a bear of a league. It's deep, but it doesn't necessarily have those top end teams that feel like they're national title contenders the way the SEC does, the way even I would say the Big 12 does. So it's kind of like the football bowl game conversation a little bit, where this is the league's chance to sort of prove that it belongs. And if I'm picking somebody, it would be Purdue, and just the fact that they have one of the best big men in the tournament. Their sustained success in that deep league in the Big Ten. I like their draw. If they were to get Duke or Tennessee in that Sweet 16, I think that would be a fascinating matchup, but I don't think it's an overly arduous path for the number one seed there in the East. So I guess I would say Purdue. But Indiana can get hot, and a number of other teams have shown that they have the capability to get rolling. As far as Creighton, honestly, like the range of outcomes, in my opinion, are so wide. Like, I could see NC State knocking them out in the first round and not be terribly shocked, given what the ups and downs that we've seen from Creighton this year. I don't know that the matchups, especially in the post, favor them necessarily. And when Kalkbrenner's not rolling for Creighton, they have issues, especially if they're not hitting shots. So I think it's not an unrealistic path to think that they'll struggle to get going offensively. If they do get past NC State, I mean, we've seen Creighton Baylor a handful of years ago in the NCAA tournament, and Baylor's length tends to bother a lot of teams. I think you can count Creighton in that group. So, all that being said, this was a preseason Final Four caliber team. They have the pieces when they're rolling, when they're hitting threes, to be as good as anybody out there. They've gone through a gauntlet in the Big East and have come away with some really impressive wins. So, I think if you're a Creighton fan and you say, what does it take to consider this a successful season? I don't know that you're there yet. They've probably underachieved, certainly by their own expectations. But if you get into the Sweet 16 again and have a chance to go deeper, that's probably something you're happy with. And if not, then, I think there was a lot of potential left on the table, and this team could look a whole heck of a lot different next year too. So there'll be questions moving forward.
Sounds good. Thanks, Evan, for joining us. That's Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald, joining us on the block. We got to get out of here. Evan, thanks again, and look forward to chopping it up with you next week.
You got it, guys. Thanks.
There he is, Evan Bland. We've got to get out of here, get a quick break, and we'll get back to Shootout with Strick.
Yep.
On the next.
Call in right now, 402-464-5685. See if you can beat Strick. He's 2-0 on the week. Are you going to be able to keep the champ from showing up? I guess we'll see. Up next on the block.
One of the Nebraska Lottery's most explosively fun promotions is back. Cash Blast. Until April 18th. Buy a 2x2 ticket, enter the voucher number, and you could win $5,000 or $500. If your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket or a multiple of 7 ticket, your prize doubled. There will be 7 points and 14 total winners in Cash Blast. So play today. You'll have a blast. But that goes without saying. 2x2 top prize odds, that's one out.
Haven't played Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery in a while? It's easy, fun, and you could win a fortune. Visit your nearest Nebraska Lottery retail. 5 numbers between 1 and 69, and a Powerball number between 1 and 26. Or just ask the clerk for a quick pick. With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, you'll soon remember why Powerball is Nebraska's favorite lotto game. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting new pre-workout for athletes and gym enthusiasts who want the most out of their workouts. Anarchy can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks, all trim levels, 4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to 4,000 off all new light duty truck now at Koppel. So do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck. So stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade. All deals with Roof Credit.
March is full of high school state basketball action, the NCAA tournament, baseball season starting up, all great things that also cause a lot of stress. Instead of get the best of you and cause uncomfortable tightness, get ahead of all of it with a massage from the Body Shop. The Body Shop for all deep tissue, hydrating, sport, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Book your appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
It was like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness. And I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travel and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over, anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street, always honest answers.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I
love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Sutter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sutter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore. Find one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHR Broadcast Association and this station.
Forget the lame excuses this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 16th and 17th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday to get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and lucky upsets. And Friday, enjoy green beers for St. Patrick's Day and day 2 of the NC at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685 to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
Every time I hear this, I feel like I need to get a bottle
I
of
feel
water.
like a bottle of water, slick my hair back, and yes. Because I need to, I need to hear that music tomorrow.
Okay, we'll see. Is it 3 in a row or 4 in a row?
3.
3 in a row?
3.
So if you get it today,
tomorrow, you know what?
We play the music tomorrow. Do I play it after you win though?
No,
if you win today?
as soon as
you win today,
you can today.
I'll
You
have
can
to
do it
find it.
after and before. God dang it!
I'll have to find.
I need to hear it.
Okay, so it's time for Shootout with Strick. Let me see if I can find On the Block real quick so I can get you your. You know what? I'm not even gonna put the bad juju. Okay,
no bad juju.
On the Block, Shootout with Strick. We've got Justin on the line. Justin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic, Justin. You are you ready to attempt to keep the champ from showing up?
Sure.
All right, Justin. Well, today's theme, NCAA tournament team mascots. Teams in the NCAA tournament, what are their mascots? Do you know the rules, Justin?
Yep.
All right, Strick will go first, and then you'll go afterwards. You try to beat him. So, Strick, are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, it'll Shootout with Strick starts in 3, 2, 1. What is the Vermont mascot? The Catamounts or the Cougars?
Catamounts.
That is correct. What is the Charleston mascot? The Cavaliers or the Cougars?
Cougars.
That is correct. What is the Kennesaw State mascot? The Owls or the Wildcats?
Wildcats.
That is incorrect. They are the Owls. What is the Furman mascot? The Paladins or the Knights?
Knights.
That is incorrect. What is the Texas Southern mascot?
Tigers.
Sir, I would like to say that you did a really good job on these questions, but I'm going to have to go with you nailed it.
Oh! Yes!
You got yourself 5 points. 3 of the questions, right?
You have my heart beating,
Yeah.
Rico.
All right, I know.
Don't do
I
that
had
to me,
do that.
my guy.
5 points.
I could have did a Euro step and changed it. You almost had me do a Euro.
You did a great job, sir. You did a great job. Okay, actually, hold on. So you got 4 points. 4 points. 4 points. Okay, Justin, do you think you can beat 4 points?
Yep. I hope so.
All right, Justin. I believe in you. Okay, I believe in you, Justin. Can you keep the champ from showing up? Are you ready, Justin?
Yes, sir.
All right, in 3, 2, 1. What is the Providence mascot? The Friars or the Padres?
Friars.
That is correct. What is the UNC Asheville mascot? The Cardinals or the Bulldogs?
Bulldogs.
That is correct. What is the Grand Canyon mascot? The Pioneers or the Lopers?
The Lopers.
That is correct. What is the Colgate mascot? The Raiders or the Bulldogs?
The Raiders.
That is correct. What is the Fairleigh Dickinson mascot?
The Wildcats. I have no idea.
Incorrect.
Oh.
It's a tie at 4. Great job,
Ooh.
Justin, running through that. The Fairleigh Dickinson mascot, the Knights.
Oh.
The
Dang
Knights
it.
of Fairleigh Dickinson.
How come you couldn't just miss one of those, just one?
It's time to go to the tiebreaker. So one of the games we have here on the ticket tonight, Texas Southern and Fairleigh Dickinson going at it. The Tigers and the Knights. Texas Southern, this is a tiebreaker question. Strick's going to put a number out there. Justin, you go over or under. Are you ready?
Yep.
Texas Southern won the SWAC. How many games did Texas Southern win this season? Come on, Stricky. You got to throw a number out there.
13.
Over or under, Justin?
I'm going to go over, but not by much.
I'm sorry, Stricky.
Finish him.
Texas Southern won 14 games.
I knew it wasn't much.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
Justin, congratulations. You won yourself $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Great job taking down Strick. And you know what? We haven't done this in a while, but I'm going to give you a chance. You get the choice. Do you want to take the high road or do you want to talk trash to Eric Strickland?
No, I love Strick. I wouldn't talk trash. I'm going to take the high road.
Dang it. Finish him.
Oh, great job, Justin.
Great job, Justin. Great win. Shoot!
You said 13. I was like, I was trying to hide it on my face.
Yeah.
They won 14 games this season. They won the SWAC tournament, went on a 3-game win streak.
I knew they did. I knew they were terrible.
Went on a 3-game win streak to win the SWAC tournament.
Oh, well.
Got into the tournament with 14 wins. They'll take on Fairleigh Dickinson tonight.
They're better man to lose,
You
too.
can listen to that here on 93.7 The Ticket.
That's all right. Justin's a good man. I don't mind losing the Strick.
2-1. Dang it. 2-1 on the week.
All right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. It happens. It happens.
My heart's broke, but I'll be all right.
It's understandable. Hey, you did great. You did great when you were guessing the mascots. You nailed the Texas Southern mascot.
I had to. Freaking
If
Justin
you didn't
was
get,
rolling.
if you didn't get that, he was gonna win. Like, you're lucky that he didn't get Fairleigh Dickinson. He would have just won
Yeah,
straight out.
Straight sweep.
Oh,
well.
Hey, great job, Strick.
That's all right. We got to come back and get to a break. But coming back off the break, we'll talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament and a little bit of the teams in both of the West as well as the South when we get back after this on the block.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. Acres dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
This is Lincoln University FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK 93.7 The Ticket.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. C provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at KoppelCars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Forget the lame excuses this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 16th and 17th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday to get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. And Friday, yeah, enjoy green beers for St. Patrick's Day and day 2 of the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
Attention KNTK sports fans. The Ashton facility of Nutrient Ag Solutions is now hiring. For job opportunities, phone 402-944-2436. Keith and staff remind you, March 21st is the first day of spring, but it's also the 50th anniversary of Ag Day. There's a national celebration as well. For Ag Day news and events plus registration, go to agday.com. And again, for job opportunities, phone Nutrient Ag Solutions of Ashland, 402-944-2436. Looking forward to making this spring a good season for farms area-wide. Nutrient Ag Solutions, Ashland.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Hold up.
We're back on the block once again. The NCAA tournament is about to launch and is going down on tomorrow, and we'll be in effect at the spot, Buffalo Wings and Rings. Come out there, shout us out, see us. It starts at 10. The shows will be going on throughout the day till the afternoon hours and beyond.
Get there early because, again, you have a chance to win some ping pong balls. If you didn't win one yesterday, or even if you did win one yesterday, be one of the first 64 people in the door. You get yourself a ping pong ball with a chance to win some great prizes if that team makes the Final Four, and even better prizes if that team wins the championship game.
Absolutely. Over the next few days, we'll just kind of be breaking it down by region. And we've kind of talked about the brackets, the expectations, the possible matchups, the possible upsets. But we're gonna kind of dig into each team individually and kind of just talk about it, see who they are. What's the thought on that? How far do we think they can go based on what they've done and what they've got going on? Maybe a team that, by numbers, the betting odds are showing one thing, but will they pan out? So those are some of the things that we'll talk about. But we're going to start on the South. We're going to go in the South region. Obviously, we'll be talking about Alabama. The reason we're going to be talking about Alabama, obviously, is because of Brandon Miller, who is the SEC Player of the Year. They didn't even put him in the running for the All-American team. Just, that was probably some political reasons for that. And but the police say that the projected NBA lottery pick that was involved in the Darius Miles ex-teammate situation is there's nothing really that's coming out of that on a criminal end at this point. No charges as he continues to lead Alabama. Now, I will say this, that he's continued to play pretty well for him. Listen, there's two things to that. One, you can internalize that, Rico, and go into a free fall because it's just that's a heavy burden to carry.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can use the court as a means by which to, just blow that stuff out.
Like, this is where you're going. This is
my
your
space.
escape.
Yes.
Your escape, where you don't have to worry about everything happening outside of these painted lines. This is where you go to get away from all of that. And that seems like that's exactly what he's done, is he's used the court to get away from all of it and to express himself, express his feelings, and probably get out some frustrations.
So the key to this, Rico, is Alabama has not reached as far as the Elite Eight. That's as far as they've gone. That was back in 2004. This team has probably the easiest route by way of looking at their bracket. When just look at it step by step by step, they have the easiest route. Do they break that record this year by going beyond the Elite Eight? Do they make it to the Final Four? Your thoughts? In your bracket, do you have it?
In my bracket, I haven't filled it out yet, but I don't think that they have the easiest route. So that's the hard part, and that's why it's going to be very confusing for when I say this. I don't think they make the Final Four.
That's crazy.
I don't really know why, and I don't know who they would. Like I said, they have the easiest route. Their hardest competition is Arizona and Baylor, who are on the opposite sides of the bracket. They won't face them until the Elite Eight. But on their side of the bracket, Maryland, West Virginia would be their second round opponent. San Diego State of Virginia would be their Sweet 16 opponent. So they don't really have that hard. I guess Virginia might be the hardest competition that they might face if they get to face the Cavaliers in the Sweet 16. But for whatever reason, this Alabama team that has shown that they are worthy of number one overall seeding, I don't have that much faith in them for whatever reason. Again, I don't have a legitimate reason. Like you said, Brandon Miller is fantastic. He's an amazing player, but for whatever reason, I'm not sold on Nate Oates' squad.
Yeah, I would venture the same. I also, as I go down and I look at just the number two, we'll be quick on the number two. Obviously, Arizona finished 4 games behind UCLA, end up with a 2 seed. Thanks to beating the Bruins 61-59 in an absolute thriller of a game in the conference championship, which pushed him up there
with a very weird offensive foul call.
Yes, right. This team is ranked 4th in the nation at 83 points per game, and they're also, by way of Ken Palm's offensive efficiency, ranked 4th. So they're one of those teams that have an offensive prowess. They're also 20th in 3-point percentage, but I just don't know defensively if I trust them on the long run.
I mean, they were able to, hold a very explosive UCLA team to 59 points. So that kind of gets them a little, like a half a check mark in the defensive box. But yeah, they haven't really shown that all season. They're very explosive. Arizona, not even if they're not a blue blood, they're high up there in terms of a prestigious basketball academy. So they're usually pretty pretty good when it comes to talent. So, like I said, they're the 2 seed in this region. They'll push Alabama if they can get there. It's going to be really interesting to see the Pac-12 champions see what they can do.
Yeah. Before I jump to Creighton, I just still want to talk about Baylor. Baylor being the reason I want to just have that discussion with them, because in 2021 they were the national champions. They're looking for their second trip. They're on the best side, I think, of the bracket. And they have an all Big 12 guard in Keontae George. I got to also referee that young man as well, both AAU as well as in high school, watching him develop. But also, he's very streaky. So this is as far as he goes, as far as how well he's shooting, is as deep as they go, because he's only shooting 38% from the field. So he takes a lot of bad shots, but sometimes when he gets hot and he gets rolling, he can be really tough, because the other part about them is they're not like the old Baylor teams where they're defensive.
That's what I was going to say.
Phenomenal.
When they won the national championship, they were one of, if not the best defensive team in the nation. They're not that this year.
Yeah.
They like you said, streaky.
They're 104th.
Shooter. Yeah, streaky shooter. If he gets hot, Baylor is going to be a problem for anybody. But that's very dependent on him. Guard play, as you said yesterday, is pertinent in this NCAA tournament. If he can get going, if both of their guards can get going, Baylor will be carried a long way in this tournament. But if he's off, you might see an early exit for the Bears.
Absolutely. Let's get down to Creighton, because this is our local group that was able to press through. Creighton comes into the tournament with a pretty balanced group of guys. Now, there's nothing grandiose about them. There's nothing, sexy about them. They just all play solid, play hard.
They're not elite.
Yeah,
at one
they're just
thing.
solid. Yeah. But obviously, junior Ryan Kalkbrenner leads them basically where he goes, especially on the defensive side, foul trouble wise,
biggest defensive
anything
player of
like
the year.
that. It depends on pretty much them. So, what's your thoughts about Creighton's prospect?
Creighton's another guard dependent. If their guards get going, if they can shoot the 3 ball well, they're another live by the 3, die by the 3 team. If they shoot well, they will be carried far, because Kalkbrenner will should get his touches inside. If he doesn't have at the very least 12 shot attempts, then they're not feeding him enough. He is a fantastic player on the inside, despite what Derek Walker did to him when they played Nebraska. He's a really good player for Creighton. If they can feed him, get him going, it'll open up the 3 ball. But the problem is they have to knock those shots down. And there have been multiple games this season, which is why they're a 6 seed. And not, a possible 1 or 2 seed, which they were probably thought to be at the beginning of the season. If that 3's not falling, they're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this. Give me your 2 upset alerts for this bracket. Creighton's an upset alert. First round against NC State.
Yeah, Creighton. And
let's just while we're looking at that let's break down. Let's break that down. Why NC State possibly can clip Creighton? Because when you talk about them, one of the things about them is they're an at-large team. They've had just one. Let me make sure I'm right. Just one quad 1 victory now. So that in itself, but they're a threat. They're a threat because they have all ACC guards, Jarkel Joyner and Terquavian Smith. So that's what we talk about. When you get into NCAA play, it's guard play. When you get into NCAA play, it's guard play that wins the day.
They're both, again, we're talking about streaky shooters and guards. Both of them are streaky shooters. I think they're both second-team ACC in their conference. Both averaged around 17 points a game. So if those two get hot and they get going, you've seen Creighton susceptible to guard shooting well.
Yeah.
That's what the Big East is really known for. Not really known for. At least this version of the Big East is really known for. 3-point shooting, guards, forwards getting hot, hitting those 3s. That's how Marquette downed them in Omaha, I believe. So if NC State, if those 2 guys can get hot, Creighton's in for a problem, because they're going to be smart about it. They're not going to drive into Kalkbrenner and allow him to block those shots. They're going to live on the outside, and it's going to be a 3-point barrage in these 2 teams. Whoever gets hot first will end up winning the game.
Well, let's go ahead, since that's a good one. I would venture to say that I think that would be a good upset watch for me too, especially in this bracket. Let's move over to the West. The West region. who is led by Kansas in this region, the defending national champions.
The West region is stacked.
It's stacked. It's quite stacked. The defending national champions, obviously, Bill Self was out during the tournament with, I don't know. He had a heart procedure, they said. So, at first it was kind of up and down as to whatever it is that he had or the situation. But, just 2 of Kansas's losses have come by single digits. It's an odd season for them because they're a good team that would find themselves on the other ends of blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just don't know which Kansas team is going to show up, but how far in this stacked West Conference can Kansas go?
They can win the whole thing. Anybody in the West division, anybody in the West can win the whole thing. It's one of the most wide open. Like we said, it's stacked and it's loaded with talent. Kansas, I want to say they'll have the best chance, but look, if they beat Howard, when they get by Howard, Arkansas or Illinois is waiting for them.
Yeah. Both
Both teams, super athletic. Illinois, really good defensively. Arkansas, they live above the rim.
Yeah.
Kansas is going to be in trouble either way. So it's very wide open. They can make the Final Four. They can lose in the second round. I don't really know what to make of this West region and this Kansas team. Depending, they said Bill Self might be back on the sideline. If he's not, is Kansas going to play with more not enthusiasm, that's not the word I'm looking for. Are they going to play with more pep in their step or what have you to make up for their coach watching in a hospital bed or from home, or are they going to play down because they're worried about their coach's health, which everybody's worried about his health, and we hope that he makes a full recovery. But depending on which side of the coin Kansas lands on, they're either going to be in a lot of trouble or they are going to be a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. Quick on the at-large bid because I really want to get to Gonzaga, but UCLA obviously coming up short in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
They have freshman Amari Bailey, highly touted. He averages over 10 points a game. This UCLA team only averages, defensively, they're only giving up 60 points a game. So in that West region, that is a great number to have, being that teams have great scoring abilities in the West. This could be a great matchup if they are able to get through it, where Gonzaga and them can face off in Las Vegas. That could be a tremendous matchup in a raucous West Coast. Just everybody emerges in Vegas and gets it on.
I think that's going to be one of the matchups that everybody's looking forward to. And it doesn't really matter unless you're a fan of the teams that they're playing. If you're not a fan of any of the teams they're playing, that's the matchup you want to see. Gonzaga and UCLA, that West Coast confidence going together in Las Vegas, the mid-major, almost national champion year after year in Gonzaga, and the blue blood, the godfather of basketball in UCLA. Like that's the matchup everyone wants to see in Sin City.
Yeah. The new and the blue.
Yep.
Talking about that, Gonzaga comes in as the West Coast champion. Drew Timme, 2-time All-American. He leads Gonzaga with 21 points per game. Julian Strawther has 15 points per game, shooting 43%. But this team leads the country in scoring. Yes. Points per game. 87.5 points. That means they're running. They're getting it up and down, and they're shooting 60% inside the arc. That's ridiculous. It's crazy. So obviously Drew Timme's been there a long time. This is why I say
12 years.
It seems like it. This is why I say they need to get Breidenbach on some Drew Timme tape, turn him into him if they want to have go a long way with Husker basketball. But I think they can go probably further than most people expect.
They confuse me year after year. Gonzaga, they get a 1 seed, a 2 seed, whatever, year after year, and then they'll lose in the Elite Eight for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Gonzaga is a Big Ten team without being in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They'll get all this hype and all of this everything around them. They'll have all of these amazing players, but they won't win a national championship. They'll get pretty close. Maybe they'll make a Final Four. Maybe they'll make the national championship game, but they won't pull through for whatever reason. Mark Few can't get this Gonzaga team to win a national title. It's very they're very hit and miss. So this Gonzaga team, like you said, leads the nation in scoring, shooting 60% from inside the three-point arc is really going to help. Can they keep that going throughout the tournament? I guess it's time to see.
An interesting one I want to talk about is number 8 Arkansas at large bid, came up short, losing to Texas A&M in the SEC tournament, and I think in the semifinal. they ended up collapsing in that game, like just fell apart. Eric Musselman was quite disappointed in that. They were without Nick Smith for much of the season, but he comes back and scores 12 points in the last 6 games for this team. But they've made it to the Elite Eight, Rico, for the last 2 years. Is it another run for them? Is this the team that clips Kansas?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if Gonzaga's not the team that gets it done, then yeah, I could see it happening.
What's your thought about Iona and Rick Pitino?
I don't know.
Is that your upset watch for this bracket?
I mean,
where's your upset?
No,
where's your upset watch?
I like UConn way too much. I haven't seen a single Iona game, so I can't say that I dislike or I do like Iona. Rick Pitino, Hall of Fame coach. We all know that. But UConn, one of those teams that was flirting with number one. I believe they might have gotten a number one at some point this season, but everybody that was number one is lost at some point. So they've been flirting in the top 10 all season. I think that they are not peaking at the right time because they didn't win the Big East tournament, but they've been getting better week after week. So I really like UConn in this side of the bracket. I don't think Iona is going to get that done. My upset watch in this one, it's going to be kind of boring, but it's probably VCU over St. Mary's.
You know what? And that's what I was going to say. You know, St. Mary's is kind of been the one that's been kind of challenging Gonzaga. And I like that call in this bracket as well. But I'm even going to go.
Do you think one of those first 4, Arizona State or Nevada, depending on who wins, that can clip TCU? That one looks interesting.
That's interesting.
That one looks interesting.
That's the one that I'm kind of eyeing, but I'm trying to just like say, I'm gonna say that's the one.
Yeah.
Either one of them. I'm gonna say that's the one. I think they're gonna.
Which one would you
getting
feel
some
better?
rhythm? I would say probably Arizona State.
Okay.
But they're both getting a nice rhythm, and then they're gonna come out and so they are. Listen. You know, it's nothing like getting a win, getting some swag, and then looking to burst somebody's bubble. I love that about that slot and them getting that game just prior to, just to get. I don't think they go beyond that, but I think that's where I could see it going. So, yes, that's where we are. That's a good start. We'll get into the East and the Midwest on tomorrow, but we're gonna have our guy, Steve Sipple.
We got him.
He's not going to shut up when he comes on the show. He's going to talk a little bit. We'll have him next on the block. Steve Sipple joining us. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Stricky and Rico. We'll be right back.
Attention TK fans. The Nutrient Ag Solutions is now hiring. For job opportunities, phone 402-944-24. Find you. March 21st is the first day of spring. It's also, there's a national celebration as well. For Ag Day news and events plus registration, go to agday.com. And again, for job opportunities, phone Nutrient Ag Solutions of Ashland, 402-944-2436. Looking forward to making this spring a good season for farms area-wide. Nutrient Ag Solutions, Ashland.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food.
complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lake. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same products you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84th and the Internet. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-665-4650 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Forget the lame excuses this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 16th and 17th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday to get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. And Friday, yeah, enjoy green beers for St. Patrick's Day and day 2 of the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O. Early break with Sip and Jake.
It's good looking. It's a good looking team. Yeah, they're good looking.
Capel. Is it Capel?
Capel. Capel. Capel's a comedian. That's Chappelle. Chappelle. Same thing. Okay, so now we got Dave Chappelle. Capel. Jeff Capel.
I've never heard of Capel, the comedian. What is wrong
I'm
with
gonna
you?
leave. Wait. We went in a matter of seconds. We went Jeff Capel to Dave
is a comedian.
Capel.
Early
No.
break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block right now. Joining us once again. We missed him yesterday, but he had some business to attend to. Our friend, your friend, Early Break, man of the hour. Well, a few hours.
Yeah.
3 hours. Couple.
Steve.
Sip.
2 hours. 2 hours.
What's going on, Sip?
Oh, not much. I'm just working away. How are you guys doing?
Oh, man, I think we're having a good time.
We're
Rico.
living our best lives.
Yeah, Rico's happy because New York Knicks are winning some games.
They're great,
you know,
Sip.
he's excited.
They're great.
Rico, I tried to engage Rico in some Knicks talk the other day, and he kind of shot me down when I told him that maybe my favorite player in the NBA is, I mean, if Randall's not my favorite, he's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that, and I don't get it. But yeah, sure.
Yeah, you shot me down completely. He's up and down, but I like, those are, I mean, I've told guys this for years. I mean, if I'm drafting a team, I'm trying to take a 6'9" guy who can break the backboard, which he can, and he's a good outside shooter. Has a lot of mid range, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I love him.
They've told him to stop taking the long two, so now he's taking more threes, but he's making them at a decent clip.
See, that's the thing, and look, and he's got to be 6'9", right?
I think so. I think he's around there, 6'9", 6'10",
Yeah.
whatever he is.
Yeah, he's the exact kind of player I like. If I was a GM, I'd try to have 6 guys like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you want to talk basketball. You want to talk big men. I mean, Oleg Koinets transferring away from Nebraska yesterday, and then a couple minutes ago, or a few minutes ago, we got the news that Denham Dawson also transferring away from Nebraska.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, we didn't mention Oleg on our show today. We were remiss in not doing so. I think that one's not. I don't think you look at that at Oleg and say that's particularly detrimental to the program. Dawson is interesting though. I liked it. Now he obviously had his moments and then got sent to the bench. I think that was just not doing the things right type of thing. I think he's a good player. That's the one that one confuses me a little bit. You better have an answer for that one in terms of getting somebody with commensurate talent. I mean, Dawson is a big time athlete, and I think he has a lot of potential as a player. That frankly surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, but they've got some moves to make. They've got some slots that are open, and hopefully the transfer portal will be good to them. So we'll keep an eye on that.
You got to keep an eye. I mean, hey, Strick, you got to keep an eye on it. Because they need impact transfers.
Yes.
I mean, they can't. They're not plugging little gaps here. I mean, they need to go get guys that can make a difference immediately.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You hopefully that maybe if a couple of those guys that have kind of made their way out of state, maybe looking to make their way home, maybe this could be a great landing spot for them because there'll be some open slots and some open opportunities. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. We'll be listening to early break, and we'll definitely be following up. But as we move over, man, listen, the NCAA is about to jump off, and the Big Ten got 8 in. Let's just start real quick on the West. Maryland lands in an 8 slot. Alabama's looking at Alabama, but first, you got to get through Virginia, West Virginia. So that's the only one in the West. But in the South. While we're in the South, though, talk about Maryland and Creighton. How far do you think they go?
Yeah, it's I mean, right out of the gate, it'll be tough for Maryland. I mean, I think that's a toss-up game. I don't know what the spread is on that. It's got to be close, though. Maryland's a very intriguing team to me because they're so long and athletic. They do have a good point guard, and I like Julian Reese. And they got guys around those guys. I like teams that have everybody does, but that has an inside-out game. They do. I like them to. I mean, I think they can sneak past West Virginia, and then that's probably as far as they'll go. And then who else is in that region from the Big Ten?
No, nobody in the Big Ten, but Creighton. How do you think they fare?
Creighton's a tough read. I mean, they're a tough read. I mean, listen, you watched them play Nebraska. They wasn't a great night for Creighton, and they had that bad stretch. Now they overcame it, and they do have that inside-outside game with a good point guard and Kalkbrenner inside. Strick, what you're getting from me is not much because my answers are reflective of the field.
Yeah.
It's hard to. It's
hard to gauge.
A lot of definitives.
It's not. I said this, right. Sip. I said this is going to possibly be one of the craziest. I think this is my opinion. One of the craziest NCAA tournaments because you're just not going to be able to see it, and I think it's just going to come from out of nowhere. And so while we're talking about that, let's move over to the Midwest because they've got most of the Big Ten teams. You've got Iowa at 8, you've got Indiana at 4, and you got Penn State at 10. But in the midst of that, there is some upset type teams, which mine I think is Drake. I'm looking at Drake making a crazy run, but that's neither here nor there. So we can start with Iowa, then you've got Indiana, and then Penn State.
Well, look at we're talking about how kind of the unpredictable nature of the tournament. Just think about it. One example, Iowa went to Indiana and drilled them, in the latter part of the season. I mean, hammered them. Like, I think it was 90-68 as a score like that. Okay, I was an 8 seed. Indiana's a 4.
Right.
I don't like Iowa in the first round. I like Auburn. I think Auburn. When you watch the nation, what you see is a lot of the distribution of talent is I don't want to say even, but there's just a lot of talent.
Yes.
Like you watch Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and you think, how does Corpus Christi have a team that talent? I mean, that with that much length and athleticism.
And the crazy thing about that team is they got former Creighton Prep star Curtis Marshall's sons on that team.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
See, it's there's talent all over, which makes it doubly hard to predict these games. Auburn, if you watch Auburn, when they walk out for warm-ups, they look like the New York Knicks. And that's a compliment, Enrique.
Say what?
These teams, they look like their size and athleticism is. I mean, they look like an NBA team. Is what I'm saying. And it'll be hard for Iowa. And then Indiana. I love Indiana in the tournament. Now that's a team I love. I think they should go deep with what they have. Trace Jackson Davis had a very good season. They have that kid with the hyphen who's a freshman who's dynamic. He can get 25 on any given night. I like Indiana to go deep. They have the pieces to go deep. If they don't, I think it would be a big letdown for Indiana. This is a team that should get to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. Then Penn State finds himself matched up against Texas A&M, and Texas A&M's got very good guard play. So
yeah,
that's a good matchup.
I watched Penn State closely 4 games.
Yeah.
I really like. They're interesting to me. You would have, because they look like a bunch of football players.
Yeah, yeah.
You would have fit on Penn State's team very well. Now they don't have a post, and that I'm not. I know what everybody says. It's the stock thing to say about the NCAA tournament. Oh, it's guard play. If you have a good guard play, if you have a good point guard, I always will lean toward teams that have a guy you can go to in the middle, bigs, a big or bigs at tough times. When the game slows down and you need a basket, if you
Your Drew Timme type,
obviously get at Purdue. Yeah, if you got to get a kid at Purdue, that's an obvious one. But Trace Jackson Davis is kind of like that. You're not a conventional big, but if you have those guys, it helps. That's why I like Northwestern, by the way.
Yeah,
Northwestern is. I think Northwestern is a 7 seed. Could surprise a lot of people because they have they're long and they can hurt you inside, but Bowie's tough outside. They can shoot the 3. They're not relying on any one thing, and they can't if they go through a little stretch of Philly on offense. They can go inside and get a basket.
Yeah.
So I love Northwestern in this term.
Good. Yeah. So Northwestern's in the West. They'll be facing Boise State. Getting through Boise State, they'd have to face a tough UCLA team. But yeah, they have the potential because I do like the veteran aspect of them. Illinois, that's going to be a tough matchup against Arkansas. Arkansas is pretty tough and upset about how things went down there. But let's turn ourselves to the East, where Purdue lays over there as a top seed, and then you have Michigan as 7 seed facing off against USC. Go ahead and start with Michigan State and then move up and tell us about your thoughts about how far can Purdue go.
I like Michigan State's team, and I'd have to look down the draw. I don't have it in front of me. I do. They're interesting to me. They played really well against Nebraska. Of the 4 halves, they played well in 3 of them, and they played really well in East Lansing. Now, maybe it's misrepresentative of Michigan State because I saw them. If you guys go back to that game in East Lansing when they played Nebraska, I thought that was about as good as Michigan State could play on both ends. And then they didn't play well in the first half in Lincoln, but played real. I mean, they made 12 of 17 3-pointers in the second half. So I like them. I do. They're sneaky good.
Yeah. Well, they would have to, if they got through, they would have to face Marquette, and Marquette's rolling. Shaka's got them rolling. But that would be a tough matchup because, just the style of play. I think that's a good matchup for Michigan State.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's a tough matchup for Marquette. I think that's the type of game that would go probably down to the final few possessions. There's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it last night already, right?
Yeah.
The 2 playing games went down the final couple possessions. And that's the way this tournament's going to be. And that Michigan State Marquette matchup strikes me that way. That's how it'll be with Purdue in the second round, whichever of those teams they play, Florida Atlantic or Memphis. I don't think they can blow the doors off. I think Purdue's very limited besides the big man. Now the guys on my show made fun of me when I said I gotta be careful how I say this. I think it's amazing when you take Edey off Purdue how average they look. If Edey's on the bench now, Jake and Bill laughed at me and said, "Well, yeah, if you take the best player off of any team, it's going to be a different." Yeah, it is. But what I try is that in some instances it's more profound than others. And with Purdue, see, what I'd say about Purdue is, okay, with Edey they win the league, right? Without Edey, I think they're probably 9th to 14th place. I mean, so what I'm telling you is, I don't think they'll get past the second round. I really don't. unless Edey scores 32, 35, 37 points.
Yeah.
I just don't do it.
So we're talking with Steve Sipple on Three House Run Line. Sip, I've gone out on record and said that I don't believe any Big Ten team makes the Elite Eight. Am I crazy in saying that?
No, not at all. I think the Indiana, like I said, I think they're a Sweet 16 type team. But I don't know. Now, Elite Eight, see, Enrique, it kind of gets back to the conversation, and I know it seems like I'm dodging bullet here, but there's just got to be a lot of games that are really close at the end. But again, we saw it right away, right? Last night, in Southeast Missouri State went right the last possessions, last 2 or 3. Same thing. Just got to see a lot of that. So, but yeah, by and large, Enrique, I think you're right. I just don't see the Penn strange league this year. It's good, but man, there's nobody that really stands out at all.
Yeah. Get ready for it's one of those things, Sip, where if you're putting your bracket together, put together about 5 of them, because your first 2 might be just blown out the water in the first week or the first night. Might just be tossing in trash cans. Fill out the crazy one, and then fill out 2 crazy ones. Fill out a moderate one, because your 2 ones that you think's gonna happen, watch it get blown out of the water.
If you choose all upsets, I think you're sitting pretty.
I mean, yeah. So that's one of the crazy things about it. Sip, man, we definitely always appreciate you joining us on the block. Any thoughts about your Final Four?
Yeah, I mean, I have thoughts. I love Alabama to win it. I know that's chalk and all that. I would say I love Alabama. I would say I don't know if I'm ready to pick a Final Four, but what my line of thinking is, I like Alabama to win it all. I would get Kansas out. I wouldn't put Kansas in the Final Four. I don't think they're that type of team this year. I'm surprised kind of surprised they got a 1.
Do we finally see a Pac-12 team kind of jump back in the mix?
I'd like to say UCLA, but they're a little banged up. They're a little limited by that. I mean, I think they got 2 starters out strict, double check. Yeah. I like them. I've watched them twice, and I really, really, really like them. I like the way they play. I like Tiger Campbell a lot. But
you just don't know. It's just kind of
I wouldn't go there. Now, the team I'd watch really close is Texas. They hammered Kansas twice down the stretch. I mean, hammered Kansas twice. I think by 17 once and by 20. I don't know why people pick Kansas to go ahead of Texas. I mean, maybe they're just banking on, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. I don't think it'll be that.
No, they're former national champions. They, that's
they won't go down easy. They won't go down easy. But if it now, I like Texas in that region. I'd have to look a little closer at the other ones, but I'm convinced that Alabama is the best team in the country, not by a long shot, but I'd like them to win it all.
Well, what about your upset? So Rico says you're ludicrous, thinking Iona's gonna.
I love Iona
against UConn.
Yeah, UConn. Now they got UConn, and it's not a great draw. I was really interested in what kind of draw Iona would get, because they would cause. Oh, for instance, Iona would cause Northwestern a lot of problems because Iona's so athletic.
Mm-hmm.
And a team that's not overly athletic, I'd say Iona. I'm not gonna. I'll be very honest here. I think Iona would cause Purdue a world of problems.
Wow.
I do, because Iona presses full court and they're really athletic, and they are a very good defensive team. Iona and VCU are really interesting to me. Those are the teams I watched this weekend in conference tournaments, and I was really struck by how they press full court and they're really athletic. They really make things tough. And Iona has some high flyers and big that are good basket. So I mean, don't be surprised if Iona beats UConn. Don't be surprised. It'll be tough. Like I said, they didn't get that. I was hoping they'd get kind of a less athletic team. Like I'd say Iona would really give Creighton problems.
Mm-hmm.
Iona will give a lot of teams problems.
Right.
Not athletic. Like if Iona played VCU, I'd take VCU. But if there's a lot of, like, if Iona played Arkansas, I might take Arkansas. If Iona played Auburn, I might take Auburn. But there's some teams that they're going to cause a lot of problems for, teams that aren't particularly athletic.
Yeah. That's him. Steve Sipple, early break. Thank you once again, my friend, for joining us on the block. We appreciate you. We know we're a day late. We're at $1 short, so we do appreciate you for joining us.
You guys are great. I appreciate it.
See you at a Wings Rings, right?
I think I better show up to that. Or Jake, you know, he's my boss.
All right, Sip. Thank you so much, man.
All right, God bless you both.
We'll be right back. 937 The Ticket on the block. We'll come back with a crossover with Jay or with Kenny or
I know
possibly
DP's here.
DP. We know DP's in the house. So we'll be back right after this. Peace.
March is full of high school state basketball action, the NCAA tournament, baseball season starting up, all great things that also cause a lot of stress. Nerves get the best of you and cause uncomfortable tightness. Get ahead of all of it with a massage from The Body Shop. The Body Shop in Lincoln is your place for all types of massage. Sports, Swedish, hot,
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the ANSEL, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association. In partner with Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet and we are pulling all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks, all trim levels and discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all duty trucks right now at Koppel. So do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck. So stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with Root Credit.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date about COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthy.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same product you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help games and on the golf course go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta, hemp-derived Delta-9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84th and the Internet. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we talked about Liberty First Credit Union? Great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members.
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie, it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's parents and every other trust life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path.
Sponsored by DHHS and air operation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hot exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best hamburgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haven. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it's pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-clean protein powder ideal for anyone wanting to look better, feel better, or perform better. Fusion 30 can order Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit the certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novant Nutrition had that narrative wrong for 29 years. Guys from the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution that make it. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
The Ticket. Fox KF Weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Windy but warm here for your Wednesday. South winds could gust over 35, but an afternoon high of 68. Increasing clouds tonight with a low of 38. We'll reach a high of 43 tomorrow, but then see falling temps in the afternoon with a rain-snow mix possible and north winds gusting near 50. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Third. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We on a world tour with Kenny Will Hyde. Yeah.
Who sings this?
Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
Come on now, I'm old school.
I had to test it.
We're crossing over with old school. You know I know old school.
I had to test because I know he didn't know.
Yeah. Oh well, you know.
I would have got there.
No.
I would have got there.
You'd have Googled it.
I would have Googled it.
No, you wouldn't?
I would have got
No,
there.
he would have. What is that thing called where you
I
Shazam?
don't do that. I don't do that.
Come on now.
I would not. I'm gonna be honest. I would not have gotten it right the first time, but I would have gotten there.
You would have gotten there.
I would have gotten there.
Listen to the baby and all them boys.
I don't listen. I don't listen to any of the new school
I
rap.
See,
I'm stuck. All my phone is all the old stuff from when I was growing up.
You're from Leaders of the New School.
No,
no,
he was too young for that.
See, I was trying to trick him, man.
Okay, my bad.
You sold me out.
No, sir.
He
Sorry
He
about
would
that.
have
Sorry
missed
about
it.
that.
It would have went over his head.
I grew up. You know when I grew up. I grew up Prime Wayne.
Oh, okay.
That's me. That's my childhood right there.
504 boys, juvenile.
He's one of the Wayne is one of the like metaphors. His metaphors are crazy, but
I grew up mixtapes like everybody was dropping mixtapes, everyone dropping albums, everybody's dropping mixtapes. You download LimeWire on your computer crashes.
See, they didn't
It's
have
done.
the real mixtape. We
It's
had
done.
like DJ Clue, DJ.
Bro, when we had a mixtape, we had to put one tape in and an empty tape on the other side, and that's how we made
Cross it over.
That's how we made our.
That's how we cross it over.
See, we burned CDs. We didn't. We
Oh,
didn't do
see,
tape. We
you're
burned
different.
CDs. So
Yeah.
I'm still there now. Now everybody just gets it on their phone. Phones, but yeah.
And then you said,
some the legal tampering type of deals being made. On top of that, what are some of the deals that have kind of been interesting to you that you've kind of been able to see at this point? That's just kind of been thrown. Like, I'll throw one out. The Juju Smith-Schuster one, kind of, I was like, dang, that NFL, that Super Bowl money get you paid.
I guess.
where did I just saw? But
Juju's going to New England. 3 years, $33 million.
Shit.
Sorry, say that one more time.
3 years, $33 million.
Jeez.
That 1 year with the Chiefs got that man.
They got that man paid.
A 1 year
TikToking on
not
the
even
on the center
$10 million deal
Yeah.
with the Chiefs.
Got him broke off.
Yep.
So that was one that threw me to the left.
Kudos to him.
Shout
But
out.
The thing I'm tripping off of is how your boy Aaron Rodgers is just calling shots in New York.
Yeah.
If you don't get this guy, you don't get this guy, you don't get that guy.
But then he wants to throw the reporters who report that under the bus, saying it's not true. He said that he texted Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, and Diana Rossini and said, "Lose my number, nice try."
He told them to lose his number.
Mhm. Because all of them said, and that's my thing is, you have 3 NFL insiders who have all of this knowledge, who are all reporting the same thing. I'm sorry, Aaron, I don't believe you.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Right.
That's the way I look at it, Kenny Wilhite.
But I mean, kudos to those guys that are getting paid.
Yeah.
They've earned it.
Yeah.
The one I'm still worried about is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's one that's still interesting. Keeping our eye on, obviously, getting basically the second fiddle.
Yeah.
Just be real about it. But here's the one that just happened, and we just called it out on the block. Your boy, Freaky Zeke Elliott, got released today.
They cut him.
Yeah. What's the thoughts on that?
7 years, 3 Pro Bowls.
So
nothing.
So that's the crazy thing. So that's the thing. That's the but let's go. Oh, it's just off top because we ran through it, and I ran down it, and we're looking like, well, they've already got them, or that person's already solid, or there's 2 of them there. Where is a good spot? Let me throw one at you and just see if you feel it. Tampa Bay.
I was just about to.
What you gonna say it,
bro? You read? I was just about to say Tampa Bay. I seriously was.
Okay, the second. Go ahead, talk to me.
But didn't they just sign? Did they just sign? A
No,
running back?
I ain't seen
No,
nobody.
they kept Fournette, and they have you were going through their running back. They have a deal pretty good about, but they re-signed Fournette again. I think this last year to a couple-year deal. So they have him. He's done pretty well. Playoff Lenny doing his thing there.
Yeah.
It's
no. Oh, Giovanni Bernard. There.
Gio Bernard, yeah.
But Gio's 31.
How old is he?
Zeke's approaching 30. Approaching
No,
30.
Zeke's older than me, and I turned 30 this year.
He's not that old.
Well, to me, the only place I think he could truly go and be okay.
I would say Tampa, and then the only other place that I kind of in my mind thought was Cincinnati, and the reason being is because he's
never
such a
mind.
good protector.
He's 27.
That's what I was saying. I don't know what you was talking
You
about.
play like
You
you're
messed my
30.
mind. The only reason I'm saying is the protection that he provides for Joe Burrow would, could be good, and he still can catch out of the backfield, and they don't have a staunch running game, but it's okay.
The running game there is okay.
It's okay.
Probably
You get him on the cheap.
Yeah, because he's got to go cheap.
Yeah, he's going to have to go cheap.
But that was with Tom Brady. Now they got Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that
They
part.
signed Baker yesterday.
I heard you say that.
Real quick, we got to go to a quick station identification. We'll come right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
These ain't softball questions, Kenny Will High. We just throwing them out. You know, I'm throwing fastballs right down the gut, 97 miles, 100 miles an hour.
He throwing them probably fastballs at him.
He's like, all right, here's this.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah.
But no, I hope Zeke finds a home for him.
Yeah.
You know, being a St. Louis native, I'm gonna always root for my St. Louis boys. But
I thought maybe, real quick, I thought maybe like Seattle because they like them Marshawn Lynch type. And he kind of reminds me of that kind of running style.
But they drafted Kenneth Walker last
But that's
year.
the problem.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
but a backup on the cheap, you don't have to wear out Kenneth Walker.
I mean, if you could think about this, the old boy wants a bunch of people up in New York. He could back up Breece Hall.
See, so I just threw it out there. There's not a lot of places, but there's a few places.
if he's still thinking he's a starter,
trouble.
I mean, he took the bench role.
Tampa, he can start there.
Mhm.
Leonard's old, you know, he can be that 1-2.
We thought Philly at one point, but you know
They just signed
just
Rashad
signed
Penny, the San Diego Star.
And Penny's an older.
DP said Carolina.
with losing
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
They really ain't have nobody.
They really
to
ain't have
follow
nobody.
it up.
Yeah.
So I thought about that too, but you know, I think that would be a solid matchup if you can get Lamar Jackson, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Lamar Jackson and Zeke in Carolina.
Well, Carolina just signed to Andy Dalton.
Oh shit!
And
I'm not saying that he's going to stop Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying they just got Andy Dalton. Plus, they have the first pick overall.
Andy Dalton.
They could trade it away, but if they wanted, they take. To me, if I'm Carolina, I would take C.J. Stroud just because he's a little bit bigger than Bryce Young. He might be able to withstand some of the hits that he's going to take playing for Carolina.
Well, that was a mock draft yesterday that I saw that they had C.J. Stroud going to Carolina.
Yeah.
With Young going next.
So Young going to Houston.
Yep.
I could see that. I could see it.
Andy Dalton teaching C.J. Stroud the ways of the NFL quarterback.
Andy did have a good career though. Shout out to him.
He did well.
He's solid.
He did well in
Cincy. Yeah.
Last thing before we let you get over and do